Well, welcome. It's Monday and it's Monks Alive, and I'm glad to be here with you. Don't know how long this show will last today. A lot of folks are busy, and if you're wanting to join in, I will put the link up here. You are more than welcome to join. Here's the link of today's show. Now, I want to just do a few things as we get started. First off, I'm sitting here really in the comfort of my home, sitting back here in the studio. It's the season's changing. Fall is coming on. Fall, I guess, officially is here. It's a little cooler today, in the 80s, low 80s here in southeast Kansas, and but we could use some rain. It's a little dry, but then that leads me to think about all those who are on the East Coast and up the Appalachian chain and the Appalachian Trail. I know that there are communities that have just been washed away. I have a good friend of mine who lives near Asheville, North Carolina, and he was telling me how that for several days they had no communication. They had no Wi-Fi, they had no telephone, they had no news, nothing worked to let them know what it was like on the outside world. And I've been thinking about that a lot. And I think, well, what would it be like to just not know? I've got, in his case, his house was fine. He did have electrical power, so he had that. But he was cut off from everybody else. He just didn't know. And there you are. You're sitting. You don't know if the waters are receding or are they still cresting. You just don't know. You don't know if there's going to be a way to get out, to get food, to get the basics of life. You just don't know. And then there are all of those who were so devastated. Just villages, towns are just gone because of the waters. He was talking about, like, in 48 hours, they got like 25 inches of rain. I can't imagine that. There's a lake where they use as a reservoir to get their water. And he was saying how that the line that feeds from the lake to the water treatment plants is buried 25 feet below ground. It's a 3-foot concrete pipe, and 1,000 feet of it was just taken out by the storm. So they have no potable water. He just doesn't know. So here we are, and I'm sitting here in the comfort of my home, and my heart goes out to those that have been devastated by this storm. And knowing that, I guess tomorrow is supposed to be the landfall for the next hurricane that's going to swipe across the Florida peninsula. And I have friends who live in the Tampa area, and I have friends that live over in the St. Augustine area, and on both sides of the peninsula of Florida. And, I pray for them that they'll be okay. But nature is powerful, and it has such beauty about it. And we love to go out and we hike these trails and we go out and we see these things. But let's not forget that it's powerful, and it can be devastating. It can be destructive. So I love going out, and I miss. I love it here in southeast Kansas. I really do. And I love the people. I love the area. Just Sunday afternoon, I went out to the lake that's here. It's called Elk City Lake. And I went out there and I took pictures of birds. And I'll talk more about that later. But I do miss the Smoky Mountains. I do miss walking and hiking on the AT. so many beautiful trails in North Carolina to hike, and I've done videos on a lot of them, but not nearly all of them. I love the Uwharrie Trail, and Burkhead Mountain is probably one of my favorite places there in North Carolina. It was my place of refuge during COVID. Um, I may have shared this before, but when COVID hit, I became so unsettled, and I didn't know why. We were supposed to stay indoors. We were supposed to stay away from others. We were supposed to, I don't know why, to stay out of nature, because I don't know if you know this, but if you spend 30 minutes a day in nature, your blood pressure drops, your emotional well-being increases, and all of these beautiful things happen to you because of being with nature. So Burkhead Mountain was my place of escape. I would go there, and I would sort of hide for several days. I'd go up there and hike and camp in Burkhead Mountain. I think Burkhead Mountain is safe because the storm hit west of that area. But it came right up through the Appalachian Trail, which is real. I don't know. Have you guys ever heard of that happening before? Because all the time we lived in North Carolina, and we lived there, 12 years? The hurricanes would come through, but they would typically hit the coast, Wilmington area. And then by the time they got to Raleigh, in sort of the east central part of the state, excuse me, you would get rain and wind, but not anything devastating. And we lived over in the High Point area, Greensboro, High Point, Winston-Salem. And there we might get some rain, but that was about it. And then as you went west, it was not a problem. So when I heard the storm was coming through, and I heard that it was going to hit North Carolina, I have a great niece that lives over on the coast now, and she and her husband, they live there. And I was concerned for them, but I was listening, and it sounded like nothing was happening there. And honestly, I sort of thought maybe the storm had gone on out into the ocean, and it wasn't going to be an impactful thing. And then I found out about my friends over in Western North Carolina, East Tennessee, and Georgia, and all of those places where that had gotten ravaged by this storm. So I ask you all to keep them in your prayer. There are good organizations that are going there and providing support and aid. Samaritan's Purse is there. Convoy of Hope is there. These are great organizations that if you decide you wanted to contribute to, they would be good ones. They would be good ones to contribute to. You have to be careful, and I hate to say that, but you have to be careful of where you give, because some organizations take your money and they just put it all mainly to their own selves. If you look at the administrative costs to nonprofit organizations, you can see how valid they really are, because if 90% of their resources is going to the administrative costs, then that's not so slick. But when most of their resources that they get, their donations that they receive, go to the mission for which they were created, like Samaritan's Purse, like Convoy of Hope, then you got a good group to go to. So while I'm here comfortable, and I pray that you're here comfortable as well, don't forget those who aren't, because they need help, and my heart goes out to them. Well, I went last week out to I went out to a friend's farm, and stayed out in the pasture and was hoping to get some video of some wildlife. Hey, Kevin, good to see you up here, man. Thanks for joining me. But I saw these, and or I went out here to this pasture, that on a little hill that overlooks the farm, overlooks this pond that's down, and I had a beautiful evening. The sun went down, but I didn't even see a bird. There was no birds out there. And yet it was the sunset, and there's something about, and Kevin would know this, being in Texas, big sky, when you have the sun setting, it's amazing. When you have the sun rising, it's also just amazing. And that's what I love about Kansas, because you get great sunsets, you get great sunrises. And and I got both while I was out there. I put a trail camera down by the pond, thinking, well, maybe I'd get something down there. And if you saw the video last Friday, it was the trail camera picked up a family of raccoons. I think they were young. They looked young to me. If you guys check out the video and make a comment, do you think they're young or not? But I think they are. But they had a great time playing with that trail camera. They chewed off the strap, and then they took the camera and they knocked it down and they knocked it about. And I put some of that in the video, but there was a lot more that I cut out because it wasn't that interesting to you, but I thought it was a lot of fun. And the noise and the sound of them was a lot of fun to listen to. So I got them. And then Sunday I went out and I went out to the lake thinking I might get some blue heron. I was really hoping I could get some pictures of a blue heron. I did get a couple that was flying, not real good, but they were they were flying low. And then I got pictures of pelicans. Let me show you. This is on the thumbnail that I used for today's show. But these pelicans, and I got several pictures of these guys. They were flying out over the lake, and they turned and flew right over the top of me. And I got several really good pictures. Don't know if I can get one of those. They may be too large for me to put up here, but I'll see if I can't get you one that you can see. But yeah, they were a lot of fun to see. And got them. I got let's see down through here. These might just be too big. Here's one. See if it'll open. Yep, I think it's going to open. And if it does, I'll put it up here for you to look at. But got the pelicans. There were a couple of egrets that were right there on the coast. Or on the lake shore. I got several pictures of them. And then there was this hawk that was flying over. So I got to play with, hawks are my second favorite bird. Hawk depicts Kansas. So this red-tailed hawks are amazing, but I do love eagles, and they're my favorite. So sit there and look at the eagles. Yeah, those raccoons are mischievous little boogers. They are, they were a lot of fun to watch. And there was one that was shy. He stayed in the background and wouldn't come forward. And then the others would sneak up and take a bat at the camera, at the trail camera, and then run away until the one got it off and knocked it down on the ground, and then sort of stood over it like, I'm the winner here. So a lot of fun. But one of the things that I tested out, the reason I went out there, was trying to find a way of blending in with nature so that you can get a better pictures. So when I went out to the farm, I took a hunter's blind And I sort of channeled my inner Bika, and I took a hunter's blind. It's a ground blind, and I've set it up and got in it. And this blind is pretty neat because it's camouflaged and it sort of blends in. And from the outside, you really don't see anything. But so you can move around, you can be comfortable when you get inside it. I had my food, I had a drink, I had a easy chair, had my camera set up on the tripod, and animals don't see in and get scared. So they may still smell you. And then that's a whole different conversation of making sure that you are upwind from your animals so that if the wind's hitting you in the face, then maybe they can't smell you as easily. And then if you're hiding in that blind, they won't be able to see you as easily. And this thing is portable. It's sort of like, well, I say lightweight. It probably weighs 25, 30 pounds to set it up. And it has an internal frame. And then you set that thing up and it works really well. So I had that out there, and I included that in the video from last Friday as well. Not really sure what I'm going to do in my next video. If you have any ideas, guys, I'd love to hear from you and get any ideas that you might have. Let's see. I can keep on talking, but if you guys would want to join, I'm gonna put it up here again. So if you want to join me, you can do that. I think there it goes. If the picture of the pelicans is still loading up, it may not go. But the reason that's so strange is, I live in Kansas, so I would not expect pelicans to be here. And there was a whole flock of them. I mean, there must have been probably 12, 15 pelicans flying in formation, and they were really pretty. They were pretty. And the one picture I got, the pelican actually had a fish in its beak, and then that was fun to be able to get that. With wildlife photography, you really don't know what you're going to get. You try. And you try to set yourself up, but your model isn't always real cooperative as you're working on that. Where in just nature photography, you can frame it, and if it's like the countdown that I used at the beginning of this show was a place called Monument Rocks. It's out in western Kansas. One of my favorite places to go, Monument Rocks, and another place near there is called Little Jerusalem State Park. And those two places have amazing chalk rock formations. But so they're there, and you frame them up, and you worry about your lighting, and you worry about your composition, and you can adjust all those things, but they're not going to move on you, hopefully, and they're not afraid of you for sure. So you just set up and take your picture, and you just find these beautiful places. And I love doing that, but I also love doing the wildlife. Oh, so Joe was out on the Buckeye Trail there. Joe lives in this beautiful little RV park, and he and his wife live there all the time. And it's a beautiful spot with the Buckeye Trail being nearby. And so they got to hike on that. I'm glad for you guys to do that. Joe, that's really good. I am, what are the rest of you guys doing? For myself, what is it? Today's the 7th. So look at the calendar here. 1, 2, in 3 weeks, 3 weeks from today, I hope that I will be on the trail with Tim Eats a Lot and Nicole Hikes a Lot. We have been planning this trip. I'm so excited to share it with them, and then do some videos and bring those back to share that time with you. We're going to Utah, to Moab. I know we're going to go to Arches National Park. Now, I've never been there before. Nicole has several times, and in her videos and her photos from that place are just, it's mesmerizing. It's really a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to bringing those back and those with you. And last week I talked about the calendar that I'm looking at putting together, and several of you said that you would be interested in buying it. And so I've got right now about 30 photos, and I hope to get more from Moab. And when I bring that back, then I'm going to settle on 12. What are the best 12 photos, and put together this calendar. I know for sure that one of them will be this Milky Way shot. And do I have that on here? Let me see real quick. Yeah, this is a low resolution copy of it, but the high resolution is, I think, spectacular. This looks a little grainy to me here on the screen, but the high resolution version of this picture was a lot of fun, and the historical significance of it, because the Milky Way there is coming, and it looks like it's coming right out of the top of the butte. It almost looks like the butte is a chimney, and there's this smoke that's coming out, and you see all these vivid colors in the Milky Way, and that's the galactic center of the Milky Way. And I had to sit and wait for this shot to develop, because the Milky Way was actually over in between that mesa that's over on the left of the butte and then the butte. And I really wanted it where it is right now. So I had to wait a couple of hours for it to continue to shift over when it got above there. And then this is actually 16 pictures. It is 16 pictures. It's 4 across and 4 stacked 4 high, 16 pictures to make this one panorama. And it took me, a little over an hour just to take all the pictures of it. And but it was such an opportunity, because there were no airplanes during this time, no cars drove by during this time. It was just a really neat opportunity. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that a whole lot, because I probably shouldn't be as proud of this as I am, because it was the historical significance of it. The butte there was where the Chickawan people who lived there between 800 and 1250, they established a celestial observatory on the top of that butte, and they mapped the course of the sun and the course of the moon as it went across the sky. So they mapped the sun's equinoxes and the sun's solstices as it went across. And then what I didn't know until I started watching a video about this particular place is that on top of that butte, there's a petroglyph, and it's a circle, it's a spiral, and the spiral is 18 and a half circles, and didn't know what the significance of the spiral was. But the moon, every year, it shifts because of the wobble of the moon's rotation. It shifts across the horizon. Every year it moves from south to north for 9 1/4 years. And then after 9 1/4 years, its wobble causes it to start to shift back from north to south. So after 18 and a half years, the moon starts and stops back where it was. So these people had to sit there and measure that for the whole time. Uh, hey, Tony.
Hey Dan, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Oh, not bad.
I thought you might be on the road today, so
No,
it's good to
tomorrow
have
morning.
you tomorrow morning. All right. All right. Well, I hope you have a safe trip.
Yeah, my internet still sucks.
Well, I'm just impressed that you have it. I mean, it's
Well, you can see I'm in the woods here.
yeah, yeah. Now, do you use Starlink? Is that what you use?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got it set
Yeah.
up on top of the motorhome up here, but it's still looking out through all these trees.
Yeah. So it gets some. Does the wind? I imagine the wind, if it shifts the trees around, that sort of plays with the signal a little bit.
Fir trees don't move so much, so
Oh, those are firs. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
but yeah, heading out in the morning.
All right. So where to?
Say it again.
Where are you going to
Our
tomorrow?
first stop's right on the Columbia River.
Oh, nice.
We're gonna spend a couple days on the Columbia River. Um, then we're gonna stay a night in a rest area. Always fun. And then
Yeah.
we're going to Zion.
Oh, okay. Okay. Your
So I'll
wife likes
be
Zion, doesn't she?
yeah, she loves that place. I'll also be hitting the Bonneville Salt Flats on the way. Spending a couple days in that area.
Ah, very
Then
good.
Zion, and then I think we're on the Colorado River for a couple days after that, just north of Parker, Arizona.
Okay.
And yeah,
Okay.
it's a quick trip.
Well, I'm jealous. You always make me jealous.
You won't be jealous once I put out the videos. You'll be wanting to go. But yeah, you're
Yeah,
going out to Moab, man.
I am. I am. 2 weeks. 2 weeks
Oh,
from today.
I wished I'd have stayed there longer. I was out there for a week and it was not enough time.
Oh, really?
I I want to hit some more of those Jeep and road, some of those
Yeah.
long expedition trails and stuff like.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm stoked about going out there. I'm really looking forward to it. I'd like to go to Sedona. That's still one on my list. I've never been there. I haven't done a whole lot out west. So I'm looking forward to it.
You're gonna love Canyonlands. I mean,
Oh
you're just
yeah.
absolutely gonna love that. Arches is cool and all, but Canyonlands is a whole nother landscape, and it's right across the street.
And I think we're going to do an overnight hike into Canyonlands. I think that's the plan. Is we're going to hike in about, oh, I don't know, 6 miles to a campsite and spend the night there, and then come back and have base camp. And so that makes a whole lot more sense now to me, because when Nicole was talking about setting up base camp, I was thinking, well, then we're going to tear it down and we got to move across. She said, no, we'll just leave it where it's at. So really, so
Uh,
so yeah,
we did. We found a spot out there at a base camp, and
okay,
we took all our adventures from there.
yeah,
Um,
that's
I'm glad you guys are going for 2 weeks, especially if you're going to slip in a backpacking trip in there. That'll be great.
they're going for 2 weeks. I can't be there that long. I can only be there for about 5 days. That's all I'm going to be able to do.
Mm. So you're just going to drive there, set up, and
Yeah,
then drive back afterwards. Get back before
yeah,
Sunday.
yeah, yeah. Although I got another guy that's going to cover me on Sunday that we get back, so I don't have to be planning. I can go out there and just enjoy my time out there. Yeah, so that's good.
That's good. There's so many spots out there. I mean, I hit a few of them, but definitely when I go back, I'm going to spend all my time in Canyonlands.
Mm,
I might take the drive through Arches and do a couple of those hikes again because they're a pretty cool area, but Canyonlands is so much more.
Nicole said we're going to go and see Delicate Arch.
Right.
I've seen
That's
some
a
pictures
short
from
hike.
there. I'm hoping that we can be there at sunset. I don't know if that's possible, but I've seen one picture where the sun is setting through the middle of the arch.
That sounds like a good shot.
That would be, I'd like to try to get something like that, but we'll see.
Are you going during a moon cycle?
I haven't looked. That's a good point. I haven't looked. I'll look real quick. Let's see.
Because there are a couple of those arches that face the right direction to have you. Maybe you can get a moonrise shot through one of the arches or something like that. That would be as good as the sun shot, of course.
It is. It's about a 3/4 moon.
That'll work.
It's declining, and then it's the moon rises.
The next full moon's on the 18th, I think.
Yeah. It's I'm just looking at it now.
Where in the heck am I going to be on the 18th?
The 17th is a super moon. Huh. Yeah, that'd be pretty. It's not a super blue moon, but it's a super moon.
Super moon will take it.
Yeah. And then it starts declining, and so when we're actually out there, it'll be
on that. I will be in. It's called Emerald Cove Resort, on the Colorado River.
Oh, sweet.
So
have you been there before?
No, not even been down the road we're going this time.
Oh, wow.
So that'll be nice to drive a different road. Our plan was to take this trip a little faster going south this year. But we find out, it was 114 down there today. So we ended up, we're going to spend an extra day at Zion so I can go do a couple other expeditions while we're there. Going to spend an extra day here and there, just to slow it down a little bit.
Oh my. Yeah, Kevin hasn't said how hot it is in Texas where he's at, but man, 114 today?
Yeah.
No.
And it's usually 85, 90. Which, hey, that's why we're planning on being down there right now, is because it's going to be 85, 90 degrees.
Yeah.
That's perfect. But they're having a hot intro here. So it's kind of weird. Hopefully it just all of a sudden drops off temperature. That would be nice.
Well, that would be. Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
it does do that.
Today's high was only 78 here.
I'm at 79 right now.
Okay, well, I'm at 76. So
which is really making it hard to pack stuff up and get ready to go.
Yeah.
I got all the heavy lifting done. As you can see, I'm not inside my pop-up anymore. That's my biggest, heaviest item I have. It's like 70 pounds or something like that. And I got to put it on top of the Jeep.
Oh, wow. So you got to sort of leverage it up there. And I don't know if you saw the video with the ground blind that I was using. I was talking about that earlier, but
I didn't see that.
It's a neat blind. I mean, I've got it. I went inside it and I was doing a video out through the walls. You can see it's like makes you think you're in a screened back porch. It's
right
when you're looking,
same kind of view through the screen.
Yep, but you can't see into it. It's all camouflage, so you can't see in, but you can see out.
So you did video inside and outside.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I was showing that a little bit. Trying to find a way of getting close to these critters. And that night that I was out, that's when the raccoons visited me, and I've got that on a trail camera.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Dave Collier. I got that from Dave. He likes to have a trail cam out typically by his bird baths, and he will, video the birds as they're coming in and the squirrels that come in and chase the birds off.
Yeah, he does like his birds.
Yep. So I started using it. It's one more thing to carry, but I started carrying it out with me when I go out there.
They're making them pretty darn small now, though.
Yeah, they are. This one's not bad. This one is good. It's not bad.
So it's about a pound.
Bad. Yeah.
About like carrying a drone.
About like carrying a drone. Very much. Yep. I had both. So I put the drone
doubled up.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be getting lighter, Dan, not heavier.
That's why I've gone to car camping instead of backpacking.
That's only because your lenses are getting like this.
True. They're crazy. They're crazy. But yeah, it is helpful, but it's craziness. And when we go out to Arches, and go out to Moab, I'm glad that it's really a 1 day out and back for that one hike, because
I'm just going to stay the night out there and come home.
Yeah. Just going to take my little tent, go out there, set up, and then we'll come back.
I don't even know if I'd even bother with a tent.
Oh, really? Just cowboy camp?
Just cowboy camp it, yeah. Bring you a small tarp for the ground, and
that's a good idea. I mean,
you have to check your weather and everything, but if there's not going to be any weather, what do you need the tent for? You don't get high winds when you're down in the canyon.
Yeah. What's the canyon? I mean, the floor of the canyon like? Can I use tent stakes, or do I need a freestanding tent? If I used a tent.
Oh, I don't know. I've never been down in the bottom. Like I said, that's one of my next adventures, is doing more of that overlanding down through some of those longer trails out through there, so I can do that.
Okay. I've got a freestanding, but it's, my trekking pole tent's only 16 ounces.
Yeah, if freestanding pants a couple pounds.
It's gonna be a couple pounds. Yeah, it's right down to like 2.5, and I don't use
not
it.
Bad for a freestanding.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's a 2-person tent, and it's which means it's a 1-person tent, but you can keep your gear in it. That's all that means. So yeah, it's not bad. And yeah. Kevin's still with us, and Rerun's still with us. So that's good to see those guys. But
so you've been up here by yourself this whole time?
Yeah.
Oh man, sorry, I was busy. I was like, I'm not going to stream this to my audience. I don't have, usually I plan a couple days ahead on that. And it was like, I don't even know if I'm going to be around.
Well,
my wife's taking a nap, so I'm taking a break.
I figured you would be either packing up or on the road. And so
next week I'll actually be in Zion. Maybe I'll be back before the live, but I'm not counting on it.
Okay. Well, I will.
I'm hoping not. I do want to do, there's a couple of good trails in Zion I haven't hit, and I want to hit them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's too bad that a lot of them don't allow dogs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A lot of parks are like that anymore on some of the trails. And it's like, man, my dog's my hiking partner.
Yeah.
I mean, it's simple as that. He loves that stuff. So I can't wait to get back down to the absolute desert and no leash. Let's just go for a walk.
Yep. Let him go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good one. He makes me think of Tom Walker's dog, which is also, and I think now is yours a border collie?
It's a Great Pyrenees and Rough Collie mix.
Ah, okay,
He's a
okay,
big dog.
big dog. But Pyrenees, they're some of the sweetest dogs around.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, yeah,
Great around other animals except horses. He nipped
yeah.
at a horse once and took a hoof and doesn't like horses anymore.
I remember you saying that when you were out and there was a pasture there with horses in it. Yeah. Oh me. Yeah, they learn quick. They learn quick. We
And stuff. He's
we had
super friendly to people, animals, everything.
yeah. Yeah. I have a friend in North Carolina that he's got a female Great Pyrenees, and she thinks she's a lap dog. You know, if you sit down, she's going to come and try to climb up in your lap.
If
And
you get near mine and you tap your shoulders,
yeah,
he's gonna give you a hug. His feet are over you. His face is right there. You know.
I love that. Yeah, I do. I do. I grew up and had a collie, not a border collie. It was a big collie, and he was a great dog. He was just a super dog. He was the best squirrel hunting dog in the area.
Oh, really? For a big dog?
For a big dog, and he could see him, and he was good, and better than any hound. People would come and want to borrow him from me to go squirrel hunt, and so he would go with them. If I told him to, he would go with them. If I didn't tell him to, he wouldn't have anything to do with them. But I'd take him out and hunt him, and he was a good dog. He was just a great, and he did it because he knew that you liked it. And that was the reason. That was his motivation for wanting to do it. It's because he knew you enjoyed it. So he would be there with you. They're smart. And yeah, he was fun. Yeah, I think the Starlink is messing with you, Tony.
Yeah, it's not doing me any favors right now. Better than like 8, 9 o'clock at night. I pretty much have zero internet between 8 and 10.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it's because they don't have enough satellites in the area or what. My window isn't very big up here, but in the mornings through most of the day, I can.
Yeah. My brother that lives over in Arkansas, he's got Starlink because he lives out in the middle of nowhere, and he's got Starlink, and it works. It's amazing. And I saw where Elon Musk had delivered Starlink all out through Appalachia, and so that they've got internet now.
Now, once I'm out of these trees, I'll have a great signal again. I mean, it does pause a second or.
But yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing to see it. When technology's working, it's something else.
It's irritating, I mean, up here in Washington, yeah, I could probably run off cell service, but I have no cell service here.
Yeah.
Even with our boosters and everything else, it's shoddy at best.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, with Starlink, do you have telephone communications through Starlink, or is it?
Yeah, my phone is actually not hooked to my Starlink here because my phone seems to do just fine. That's Verizon. It's Verizon, and we have Verizon booster inside, and it's not doing nothing for us. So I keep my phone on just Verizon, not on Starlink, and it does
Yeah.
just fine. I've had no problems with phone calls or anything like that. Or if I was
Oh,
on
that's
my
good.
Starlink, I'd be dropping my calls all the time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
heck, once we get down to where there's no trees, like where we're staying on the Columbia River, there's going to be no interruptions, no nothing. That's going to be nice out there.
Sweet. Are you gonna do a video from there?
Yeah, I'll do a video at every stop like I normally do.
Good. Because I want to see that.
Uh, Columbia River. I'm probably going to video the drive too.
Oh, okay.
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 Because it is such a beautiful drive on the Oregon side of the Columbia River.
Yeah.
And the Washington side's like this. The Oregon side's just you slowly go uphill the whole way, because you're going upriver.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And if you've never seen it's a big river.
No, I haven't seen it. So yeah, I gotta check that out. I know the Mississippi, and of course Mississippi's huge. But when I was driving to and from New Mexico, it was like that. It was just a beautiful drive, driving through there, and you got mountains, and you got the buttes and the mesas and the mountains all mixed in, and it's just an amazing.
Mississippi's got an advantage. It's got a lot of tributaries.
Yeah.
Columbia, what has it got? 3 or 4 major tributaries. I mean, the Snake River is a big one, but it doesn't have like the other side of the Rockies where everything from the Rockies to the Appalachians flowing into the Mississippi.
Right. Yeah. Mississippi's something, and it's deceiving because you look at the surface of it and you think that, it's just this slow, lazy moving river till you get about 2 feet under the surface, and it's moving, and it's powerful. So
yeah, it's the same on the lower Columbia too. It looks like it's calm and peaceful, but you put a boat in that water, oh boy.
Yep, exactly. And when we were stationed in Wisconsin, we went up into Minnesota to where the headwaters of the Mississippi was, and here's just this little trickle. You can walk across the rock.
Right. I just crossed the Mississippi on foot.
Yep. Oh,
I did that on the Columbia too, in the upper areas, across the Snake River and the Columbia.
Didn't you video that where you was this at the headwaters of the river, or was that somebody else that I was watching?
It must have been somebody else. I don't think I even took video when I was up there.
Somebody else was doing the same thing, and I remember watching it and thinking, okay, we did that years ago on the Mississippi. It was just sort of fun to reminisce. So.
Yeah, I've crossed the Colorado or Columbia River. I've crossed the Snake River on foot.
Yeah. I've only read about them in Louis L'Amour books. So.
I mean, I do wish I was filming back then.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, like hiking the Pacific Crest Trail through Washington. I wish I'd have filmed that. There's so many beautiful spots. I mean, there were spots we'd be hiking along. It's all right. It's break time. And we'd stop and park for 2 to 3 hours in one spot because it was just, it took that long to take it all in.
Yep. It's hard to get to going because you see these things and you just gotta soak it in.
Yeah. I keep watching, people doing the rest of the PCT through Oregon and California. What a nightmare that sounds like, but beautiful. And it's like,
yeah, it's I love to see how they're going through those places and see the landscapes. It's there are so many beautiful places to see.
Yep. Now I'm not done. I'm just getting started. And I've
There you
done a lot, and I'm just getting started, you know.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
all the mountains up in the Olympics are still my favorite location ever to explore. It's just backpacking the Olympics. It's straight up and straight down.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Sandy.
Yeah. Good to see you, Sandy.
But getting up, hiking up in there and getting early spring, and you still got some of the snow on the ground. And the deer, they'll walk right through your camp with you sitting right there. They just don't
They
care.
Yeah.
If you got a
I love
fire going, they're going to stop and your fire.
Huh. I was just watching a video of a guy that was doing some wildlife photography and talking about how, you know, he tries to get at eye level and take his pictures at eye level with whatever he's taking. And some of the things he was eye level with, I don't know. There was some brown bears that were one brown bear looked like he was just sort of had his paws like this and laying his head on it like he was just going to sit there and talk with him for a little bit.
I'm not sure I'd do that.
I don't do that. No, I think, you know,
I grew up around brown bears, black bears, polar bears, and grizzlies, you know, and it's like a black bear, if I can get a picture of one, I'm bonus round, you know. The rest of them, yeah, I better be at a safe place.
Yeah.
They get grumpy.
Well, I heard that polar bears will track you. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that because they're used to needing to forage for food, or I wonder why they are so different? I know grizzlies are sort of territorial, and so are brown bears.
Yeah. Most of them will leave you alone. The polars, they will, because the lack of food, and if they're fishing,
Yeah.
then you really got to worry about it. That's what a lot of the natives told us, you know. If you're out there fishing, just be careful, because they'll follow you home.
Wow.
Or the Kodiak, the grizzly, the brown bear. If you mess with them, yeah, it's not a good idea. Black bear is just a scared little dog.
Yep.
You know, that's what we have around here. I never worry about any of the critters, but up there, you got to keep an eye out. I mean,
yeah,
ready to run, even though you can't outrun them, but they're not so good at going downhill.
Oh, okay.
So if you're running from a bear, run downhill.
Downhill.
And once they start to tumble, because their weight will outrun their legs, turn and run the other way, go up the hill. I've only had to do it once, but it worked.
Wow.
And that they didn't track me, so that was a bonus. But I didn't stop for I think 30 miles or something like that. I was gone. Simple as that.
What kind of bear was that one that was chasing?
That was a grizzly.
Oh, man.
I come up over the top of this hill. I've been out hiking for a couple of weeks, and I'm looking 15 feet down the hill.
Yeah.
And it's like,
oh, I want to hear this. I'm going to get you to repeat this when you come back on here.
Yeah. I saw him. It was like, oh, I'm out of here. Turned and ran down the hill. Bowling balls. So I kept looking over my shoulders. I'm running as fast as I can.
Yeah.
But looking over your shoulder is not a good idea in the first place.
No, because you're slowing down.
Eventually, he just started rolling. It was like, all right, cut and turned, ran back over to the hill the way he came from. Never saw him again. And yeah, like I said, I probably went 30 miles that day, just as fast as I could go. just to make sure I was not in that guy's territory anymore.
That's an adrenaline push. I'm like Sandy though. If I was running downhill, I'd be rolling too. My balance is shot anymore.
Oh, mine is.
Yeah.
I got a bear growing in my belly, you know. I don't even know if I could run down a hill. I'd probably do the bowling ball myself.
Yep. See who rolled past who.
Who could stop first?
Yeah, right. That's right. Oh my. Yeah. Well, that's what. Let's see. Nicole said that there's bear. I guess one of the places that we're going to be going, there's bear there. They require a bear can. So
that sucks.
Yes, it does. I've never used a bear can before. I've got one now. Rick, my brother, last time he was here, he brought me one.
Nice. And, they're still heavy.
Yeah.
An empty beer can is like, an extra liter of water.
Yeah, it is. This thing is heavy and it's awkward and trying to fit it into the
pack. Yeah.
Trying to fit it into the pack. It's big.
Yeah. A liter of water.
Yeah.
The same as that can.
Yeah. And
which is crazy.
So yeah, I dread it. This is like the one. There was a bear that stole my food in the Smokies. I watched him. He got my food bag, tore it out of the tree, and there were other people there at the camp. And he got 2 of these, and he could open the lid, and he ate all the food out of it.
Yeah.
And then there was a third one that had a key lock in the
key lock. Yeah.
And he couldn't get it. So he just took and rolled it in the mud, and that thing was just coated with mud. He was mad that he couldn't get the food. They're fun. They're smart.
Yeah, I've never worried about hanging my food. I've never worried about bears because up here in the Northwest we got black bears.
Yeah.
If you just go around camp and pee, they'll stay away from camp. Most animals will.
Marking your territory.
If you're hunting, but
yes, we have a bear at the zoo. That's a good question. Why do you need to go on the trail to find them? Although, Sandy, I've never seen. We've got 3 bears here, I think. I've never seen them. Every time we go over there, they're hiding. So.
We got a preserve up on the Olympic Peninsula here.
Yeah.
That has all kinds of wildlife.
Oh,
they're so used to humans, you can almost interact with them.
No kidding. Well, that's the way Yellowstone is. You can play with the buffalo, or they play with you actually.
Yeah, I'm not messing with buffalo either. That's on my not to do list right there. Very few animals on my not to do list, and buffalo is right at the top. Beautiful creatures, taste really good, but I'm not getting close enough to have a battle. And watch those stupid videos of people out in Yellowstone messing with them and stuff, and it's like, are you stupid? This thing's weighs more.
Oh yeah. That's what let's see. I think. Oh no, it's another friend lives in Oregon, and he sent me a picture, and it was in last spring, and he said, "Well, tourist tossing season is here again." And it was the buffalo, and there was people out there trying to get their pictures around them. So it was.
Yeah, my selfie stick doesn't reach 30, 40, 50, 60 yards away. I'm sorry.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, my wife, she laughs and says, I wonder who the first guy that was riding a horse with a bow and arrow, thinking it was a good idea to run out in the middle of a herd of buffalo. He said, I just can't fathom why he thought that was a good idea.
They did it though.
Yeah.
Spears, arrows, atlatls.
Yeah. Amazing.
No. I want that 300 mag.
Yep. Yeah. Oh my. There's a guy that lives up in north of Newton, Kansas. When I did the Cherokee Trail, I went through his property, and he was saying, if I saw something out in his pasture, then don't go out there because he raised buffalo. He said you don't want to be. They can run. They can run 30 miles an hour for 30 miles, is what he said.
Yeah, I can run 30 miles an hour for 3 seconds. I don't got a chance.
I can't imagine. And they were big. And he built a corral out of guardrails, like on the highway.
Right, K-rails.
Yeah, he was a welder. So he took these things and stood them up on end, and he built this corral, and he kept them in there. He said, that's the only place that I can keep them. He said, they'll bust out of anything else. And a barbed wire fence, he said, that's nothing. They don't even know it's there. So about 3 weeks ago, I'm out western Kansas at Lake Scott, which is out almost to Colorado. And I woke up and I heard something snort. And I looked out from under the tent, and here is a buffalo, a whole herd of them, but this big old bull. And there's a barbed wire fence there, but he's just right up against the barbed wire fence. And I'm thinking, I keep hearing this guy's talking, saying, a fence won't do anything to slow him down. I'm thinking, oh man,
you just go back in your tent and go to sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been up in the mountains, cowboy camping. One campsite we always had this big old rock that overhang over the fire pit. Yeah. And we, have a good old fire. We keep it going all night, try to keep the critters away during the night. I remember waking up one night, looking up top of that rock. There's a big old cougar sitting up there.
Oh man.
Just sitting there. And it's like, oh no, I'm going right back to sleep. I'm not going to react to this. I'm going back to sleep. That same night, something slammed into my feet, ran across my top of my sleeping bag.
Oh,
I did not poke my head out. Like, I don't know what it was, but I did not poke my head out.
Don't want to look at it.
Whatever it was running from, I don't want to know.
Oh, buddy. Yeah.
I've had mice crawl into my sleeping bag at night.
Yeah.
The worst thing I've ever had, a slug in your shoe.
Oh, that's gross. Oh man.
It doesn't clean up easy at all.
Sandy's taking all this advice to heart. Yeah, just don't look. Don't look him in the eye. So yeah, I had a raccoon one night trying to get in the tent, and I just hit the side of the tent, and I actually hit him and knocked him. He growled at me and he ran off. But I haven't really had any problems. The one bear that stole my food.
Yeah, I've never had that issue.
He was a big
I'm glad.
bear.
I'm very glad, because usually I price my food pretty good. But
Yep. He was a big one. He was he was a black bear, but I bet he was 300 pounds.
Oh wow, a big guy, yeah.
Yeah, he was big. He was big, and he wasn't afraid. He wasn't aggressive. he just wasn't afraid. And so crazy.
I've never, never gotten close to a black bear. I've seen them thousands of times hiking and stuff, but
Oh, yeah. I've seen several. I haven't seen, one night I got up really early in the morning to hike out, and it was dark, and I'm along the trail, and I hear something grunt, and these two eyeballs, stand up.
yeah, when they go from here to up there, you get a little worried.
Yeah, and he ran down the hill, and so that was good. That was what they're supposed to do.
I've encountered a lot of things. It's the little things that are most problems in camps. The raccoons up here in the Northwest, raccoons.
Yep.
They'll shred anything to get to your food.
Yeah.
So it's always better to just leave a couple of crackers out.
Yep.
Bring them in, feed them some crackers. Hand-fed raccoons. But yeah, at night, put everything away.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't care where you're camping. That's a big one, because the mice, they'll chew through a backpack to get your food.
Well, they sure will.
So
they sure will.
We never hung our bear bags and stuff like that, our food bags, never did anything like that. We just tie them around a tree.
Yeah.
And make it difficult. And I've got chew holes in my bags many times. It's like, how in the heck did he get in the bag and get to that? It went right for the peanut butter every time,
Yep, absolutely. Yep. No, I would take my backpack, everybody would hang them in the shelters, and they had these little hangers, and they would put a Coke can up there to try to keep the mouse from coming down on you. But I set them on the floor. I opened them up, and I unzipped all the bags so they wouldn't chew through my stuff.
Right.
Chew through my bag. And then a friend of mine, his trail name is Happy. He would always have a little corner, and he would put, like you was talking about, he'd put some peanut butter crackers and things in the corner, and they would go over there and eat that and leave the rest of his stuff alone.
Yeah. We did that a lot too. Because we have no problems with the critters.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we'd have a fire or something like that. Put your food bag right next to the fire.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Nothing's going to come up even close to the fire.
That's right.
So that was always a option.
Yep. Which I guess that's something else, Sandy. You could just, teenage boys, you put a little food in the corner, and they can get there. Oh me. Well, Tony, I don't know if you're hung up there, brother. Oh wow, it's after 6 o'clock, so my time. You still there? Oh, you almost came back in. There were 7 16-year-olds here this week. Oh, Sandy, I'm praying for you. 32 packages.
I don't think I could handle that.
Oh, I'd rather have the critters.
Please give me 1,000 critters.
Yeah. Oh my. Oh goodness. Well, I guess we ought to shut her down, Tone.
All right.
But
like I said, I hope to catch you next week, but we'll see.
If not, then I will. And I'm going to be gone the following week, and then we'll be back. But
okay.
All right. Well, safe travels as you're driving down. I hope you really enjoy those stays. I'm looking forward to seeing your videos of them. So, yeah. Next time we have some Smokey Bear Smoky Mountain Bear stories. I look forward to that, Joe. I look forward to that. Thursday sharing. Oh, okay. Sandy, I'll be praying for you. That's wonderful. You take care, and for everyone, I hope you have a safe week ahead. And yeah, I have a niece that she's preparing to go to Brazil in February.
Oh,
And
awesome.
looking forward to hearing her
That's
story.
an experience.
Yeah, yeah. I'm jealous of her too.
No, I
Oh,
should stop watching videos so I'm not jealous of everybody else.
I know, but you get some beautiful places. All right, well, Tony, take care, and I will see you if not next week, in 3 weeks, I guess. But and don't cut yourself short. Enjoy your travels.
Oh, I
Just
will.
be safe as you go. And everybody else, y'all, I hope y'all have a great week as well. And until next time we get together, stay safe and stay healthy. Stay on the path. God bless you. Take care, Tony.
You too.
All right. Bye.